Hey, y'all, welcome back to episode 32 of the Late Night Vision Show. I am Hans, and man, I'm excited about today's show. We got a lot of good things and some breaking news to talk about. But before that, going to bring in my buddy, Jason Robertson with Outdoor Legacy Gear. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, and I have one question. Are you ever
Yes, sir.
not excited about the show? Every week you tell us you're excited. I'm
I
just curious. Are you ever not excited?
I am excited
I
about the show.
know,
I'm
I
very
know.
excited about today's show because we've got some good stuff to talk about. But hey, one thing I want to talk about, and we have not brought this up, and I do not know how we have not brought this up on the show yet, but we have a kind of a TV, I'm not going to say a star, but our very own Jason Robertson was on the news talking about hogs and hog hunting. Now,
Uh,
no, hold up. You may be talking to yourself or thinking to yourself, was it Fox News that broke the story? Was it NBC or ABC? I'm going to say no to all of that. Maybe an affiliate of one of those. It was the
oh my
local,
gosh.
the local hometown news in Nacogdoches County, but came out with a camera crew, interviewed Jason about hog hunting and hogs, doing a bunch of damage. But cannot believe we have not talked about this. You were on TV
Oh my gosh.
representing the hog hunting community.
Okay, can I comment here? First of
I'm
all,
not
that was
patronizing you, maybe a
oh
little
man.
bit.
Okay, so by the way, I didn't know where this was going, but I get worried after last week's 15-minute discussion on your toilet paper and hunting habits. I did not know where this was going to go, but
Hey, we have not even got into my scale of somebody's need to use underwear and how many squares they get when they ask for underwear.
let me tell you, I don't
There's
even
a
want to.
judge.
No,
There's
we
a
don't want to
scale.
go there. I don't.
Maybe we'll save that
So
for another show.
So yeah, look, let me tell you the deal with this, the news. So it was the day before Thanksgiving, the Wednesday before. I'm trying to take off early. The phone is ringing. There's no way I'm going to get off as early as I want to. And the local news station is, the TV news is wearing me out. They're calling me. They're sending me Facebook messages, and I'm like, I don't know what they want. I don't have time for this. Finally listened to it, and they're just begging me, hey, we want to do an interview with you today. And so I finally, guy just keeps calling, and I'm like, today? Oh yeah, right now. Like, and I'll come out in 30 minutes. I'm like, you got to be kidding. And I was like, what's this about? Oh, it's about hogs and the damage. And so I'm like, and he was begging me. And I said, okay, we'll do it, no problem. So they come out, and if anybody has ever been on your local news, it's normally a rigmarole. And it was. And so anyway, nice guy. He was a very nice guy. He's brand new on the job, reporter, and he had this story he wanted to do. And so this is my one complaint
I'm sorry,
is
buddy. I know I didn't warn you about this. I'm just
no,
kind of
no, but
surprised.
I just got to tell this part, and then we'll move on. But this is my complaint. So I'm thinking, look, I am swamped. My phone is ringing off the hook. People wanting to buy thermal scopes, and I'm going to go out here and I'm going to give my time to the news crew. And he said it was going to take 15 minutes, and by the way, it was over an hour and a half. And so I throw on an Outdoor Legacy T-shirt, and we go out there, we do the interview, and I give him my card, and I said, I want you to put my name as Jason Robertson, owner of Outdoor Legacy. And I said, I know that, look, it's the news. I know they're not going to go put my phone number and my webs. I know that, but hey, give me a little bit for my hour and a half of time. And it's like, oh, yeah, no problem, no problem. They even wanted to use some footage off of, one of the YouTube videos, and I gave him permission and all that. When this thing comes out, I am listed as Jason Robertson, wild pig hunter. And they cropped out the Outdoor Legacy on my shirt. They were going to make sure that I did not get 1 second of free advertising out of this
Oh, I tell you,
hour and a half.
we had to search very, very deep into the internet to find it.
Oh
But we
man.
did. My wife and I did sit down and look at it, and you're right. They cropped it out, but they've got your head and the cowboy hat in the frame, but they cropped out your shirt.
Should
So
have worn a cap. Maybe they could have, could have lowered that frame
yeah,
down
I
to get
think they were.
Outdoor Legacy.
Yeah, they had to crop it because they had to get your cowboy hat in the picture. They
It
didn't
could
want to
have
crop off
been.
your head.
It could have
So
been. I tell you what, it was a rigmarole. But I will say one thing: we don't even have cable TV, but um, I was blown away that night at about 6 o'clock. And then again at 10 o'clock, the amount of text that I got, just like all at once, boom, 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 all these local people, and they're like, just saw you on the news. And I'm like, somebody still watches the local news?
Exactly.
So, and it was, yeah, but all joking aside, I am giving the news a hard time, but it was fine. It was a good story. And anybody, again, who's been on the local news, you know that they'll record for 30 minutes. You get about 10 seconds of time, and they wait till you say the stupidest thing. And so with me, it really wasn't hard. They had an hour and a half of me being stupid, but amazingly, they didn't make me sound much stupider than I already sound. So I was pleasantly surprised. But anyway, from now on, you can refer to me as Wild Pig Hunter.
Wild Pig Hunter.
That's my new title.
I did see it, and you did a good job, man. I was impressed. You got out there and you did good. You spoke well, and you did yourself a lot of favor there. But I do remember you taking a lot of time to drive them around and show them all the damage. Now, if somebody wants to find that interview, do you know where they can find it?
We'll put a link in this podcast.
Okay.
Maybe.
You're gonna kill me for this.
Maybe. No, I honestly. I was going to post it on my Outdoor Legacy Facebook page, and then after I saw it and I was just the Wild Pig Hunter, I was like, this is embarrassing. I'm not going to put this out there. So I have actually sent it to absolutely no one. But
I know you never sent it to me. Your wife had to send it to us.
I wondered how you got that, because you kept asking about it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll get it to you.
Well, everybody check out the link in this video. Go check out Jason doing an interview on live TV. But hey, we want to thank you all for joining us for today's episode. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening on iTunes or Google Play, please do us a favor. Please go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to us through your podcast sharing apps that you use. Also, while you're on YouTube, subscribing to the Late Night Vision Show. If you will, go subscribe to the Hans ETX YouTube channel. That's HANS ETX. And while you're doing that, go subscribe to the Outdoor Legacy Gear YouTube channel. You're going to find scope reviews, detailed scope reviews. You're going to see hog hunting videos, coyote hunting videos, and we're out demonstrating these scopes that we use every day on a daily basis, and we're making videos about it. So go check that out. And you can also follow the Late Night Vision Show on YouTube. And I've already said that. You can go follow it on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Hansi's Texas and Outdoor Legacy Gear on Instagram and over on Facebook for everything else. All the socials, please go follow us. This is, we're doing this show for y'all, and we want to make it grow. And we're doing a great job right now. We've got a lot of growth, and we want to continue that. And we know that each one of you sharing these podcasts with your hunting buddies and your friends and really pushing the word out is going to continue that growth. But man, we are doing way better than any of us thought we'd ever do at this point, and we're continuing this on. But hey, we've got a lot of great stuff to talk about this week, and we're trying to do this every week and get new content and regular content that relates to the industry, to night vision hunting, to hog hunting, predator hunting. And we're just trying to bring you all the up-to-date stuff. And really, in the beginning of this show, in the first segment, what we want to do, we want to break some news about Pulsar. And I know we talk a lot about Pulsar, Jason, but this is some important news. I think everybody needs to know about it. And I'm going to let you go ahead and share it with everybody. But the breaking news about the Pulsar Apexes.
Yeah, one thing real quick, I want to interject and say we do talk about Pulsar a lot. And there's times people say, all you talk about is, Pulsar. Then later we'll have a couple of shows that mention FLIR, and all you talk about is FLIR. And here's the thing. There's only 3 or 4 major thermal and night vision companies. I mean, I guess maybe night vision, maybe 4 or 5 at most. Night vision and thermal, these companies that are in the U.S. I mean, you've got Pulsar there, definitely one of the biggest. You've got Sightmark on some of the night vision side. You've got, FLIR. You've got Trigicon. And then we don't talk much about them. There's, ATN's got some stuff out there. That's another story for another time. But the point is, this isn't like, it'd be kind of like if we had a show talking about, pickup trucks. Well, we're going to talk a lot about Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge, right. GMC. And it's kind of the same way here. There's really a big 3, I mean, Envision, they may be a new player that's coming along, with more stuff soon. But again, right now, we've got three main players, so we're going to talk about these companies over and over. So, and a lot of people don't realize that are new to thermal and night vision.
That's
It
right.
seems overwhelming when you don't know where to start, and you see these other names. Then you see other brands like Armacite, and what happened to them? And that's
Yeah.
again something else we can talk about another show. But I guess I just want to make the point of this is a small industry with just a few key players, and so we are going to talk about the same companies over and
Right.
over and over. But that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the breaking news about the Pulsar Apexes, I don't even really want to break this news because it upsets me. But the Pulsar Apexes, for those that don't know, are one of the most affordable thermal rifle scopes on the market. And I've said on this show, I've said in hunting forums comments and things, on YouTube comments, the Apexes, in my opinion, currently, even today, are the best bang for the buck on the thermal market.
Mm-hmm.
And those scopes are going to be discontinued pretty much effective immediately. I mean, I'm not saying there's maybe an outside chance there could be another small shipment of them, but Pulsar let the dealers know this, and I hate to even bring it up. I mean, it pains me. This is one of the best sellers we have, and I'm going to tell you something. I doubled down on this because this is such a good optic at such a good price that I went out and bought every single one of them I could get my hands on.
Did.
I mean, after 5 p.m., I was making phone calls, sending emails. Pulsar sent this email right at the buzzer of 5, and they didn't have any more. And I reached out to every source I had, and I actually paid too much. I mean, more than my normal wholesale cost. I bought every single one that I could get my hands on. And because they're a great scope, and unfortunately, right now, there's nothing to bridge that gap. We're still going to have, the entry level with the Pulsar Core RXQ30V, $18.99, the FLIR PTS 233, which are in extremely limited supply. They're $21.99, and honestly, the next stop from $21.99 is the Pulsar Trail XQ38 at $32.99.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about an $1,100 price gap. And so now there's going to be guys that just bought an Apex and they're going to say, oh my goodness, it's discontinued. This is the end of the... That's not the end of the world. These scopes come with a 3-year warranty. They're still going to have a 3-year warranty no matter when you buy it, as long as you buy it brand new from an authorized dealer. All right, you can't go buy one secondhand. You can't buy one from, Jim Bob Bubba down the road. You've got to get it from authorized dealer. But as long as you do, it's going to have a full 3-year warranty. They're going to honor it. If it comes down to down the road and they don't have any more Apexes, they don't have any way to replace it or fix it, they will put you into a comparable or better scope. So there is no concern whatsoever. Pulsar is always taking care of their customers when it comes to that point. I'm telling you, I'm still pushing them. I'm still selling them. And, Hans knows this from the business world. When a product is discontinued, very often, what do the dealers want to do? They want to blow it out. They want to get rid of it. They don't want to get stuck with it.
Right.
This is the exact opposite. I went out and bought every one that I could.
It's a great seller. It's a great seller.
I
had a conversation with a gentleman today that his what he said to me was, I'm looking for a $3,000 or less optic. I don't care about video recording. I'm going to shoot between 50 and 150 yards, and I don't care about all the bells and whistles. And for that type of shopper, within that budget, the Apex is a great buy for that person. He can get into a Pulsar Apex XQ38 for $24.99. It's way under budget. It doesn't have all the things that he doesn't want, and it's a great optic. And so, you're exactly right. These are not being discontinued because of any quality concerns or anything like that. This is why they're being discontinued is completely up to Pulsar and the way they're
Well,
going
and I've
forward.
got a theory on that. And look, we'll talk about that. I mean, that's an elephant in the room. The same reason that there's a lot of stuff that gets discontinued this time of year. It's that come the end of January, there's going to be new stuff released, and we don't know what that is. And so think about it from a manufacturing standpoint. Again, this is pure speculation, but it makes logical sense. You're a manufacturer. You get down to a point where in the next, I don't know what, say 90 days, 120 days, you're going to be manufacturing new products, and you're going to want to spend all of your production capabilities on those new products, getting those ready for the market. And let's just say that you get down to you've run out of components for that scope. Are you going to go out and make these big purchases of all these components? It's going to get you through another 6 months when you're going to be discontinuing and replacing that anyway, whether they told us now or they told us at January at the SHOT Show. So that's what they're doing. Now, the next question everyone wants to know is, well, what are they coming out with? And is it going to be something better and cheaper? And we have no idea. And whatever they come out with isn't going to be on the market anytime soon.
Right.
I mean, it's just because they announced it the last week in January. If we see any of this inside the first quarter, I'm going to be shocked. And it could, we could, I have no idea, but normally this stuff starts coming out, trickling in April, May, and really gets a little heavier on into the early summer as it starts, slowly feeding into the market. So I guess the point that I'm making is, yes, it's going away as one of their everyday SKUs. Yes, it's probably going to be replaced with something. I have no idea what, but don't expect to see that new scope sitting on the shelf for 5 to 7 months, give or take.
Yeah.
I
I expect there to be a huge run on these Apexes right now, with them not going to be available anymore coming up. And as good a quality as they are, the price point is great. I expect those to sell quick. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. If anybody's interested in getting a great quality scope with the Apex line of Pulsars, and knowing that you're not going to be able to get them here pretty soon, go ahead and give my man Jason a call at Outdoor Legacy Gear, and that's 877-350-1818, because when he's done with these, that's it.
They're gone.
There's no more getting them left. And the guy I talked to about today, he was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna get back to you. If I call you back tomorrow, is that too late?" And I said, we've got this many in stock, and once they're gone, they're gone. But you definitely call me back whenever. So there's going to be a rush on them. There's
going to be a rush, and honestly, that's Pulsar knew there was going to be a rush. I mean, they basically told us that in the email. It was like, hey, there's a very limited supply of these, and when they're gone, they're gone. And I'm telling you something. Again, there's not an alternative right now, a quality alternative in this price range that you can go out and get. I mean, FLIR doesn't have it. Again, they have the step down, the PTS 233, the RXQ competitor. But anyway, whatever. We can beat this horse in the ground. But if you're looking for something that's in that $2,500 to $3,000 price range with the same image quality as the Pulsar Trails without the bells and whistles, saving $800 to $1,000, it's the Apex, and you better get them while they're around.
Get them while they're hot.
Get them while they're hot, and again, don't be concerned about, is there the warranty. You're going to be good on all of that. They're going to take care of you. The warranty stands. And in a very worst case, you're going to get upgraded to a new scope if something happens down the road. I mean, hopefully you'll never need the warranty, but if you do, they're going to take care of you.
Yeah, and Pulsar always does, and they're very good about that. Well, that's why, again, I know I say it, over and over, but man, Jason, having you on the show, having you as the host, the co-host of this show, and you're breaking news here that they're not going to find anywhere else. And so I'm grateful to get to talk to you every day and learn all this stuff firsthand. And the listeners are on our show, they're hearing about it before their hunting buddies. So if you're hearing this right now and you're getting this information first, tell your hunting buddies about this show so they can be up to date on what's going on, especially if they're out there shopping for a scope or want to know what's good, what's hot, what's going to be around, and what's not And that just did rhyme. I made that rhyme.
Did you? Yes. I hope that wasn't premeditated. Did you stay up all last night?
No, I'm not. I don't write out my rhyme script or anything.
That's
it just kind of came to my head.
That's good.
So.
You were freestyling there. Good. Okay. Well, look, let's talk about something else. And this is something that we get a lot of questions about. I know Hans talks to a lot of people on YouTube, on the phone, and I talk to, obviously a lot as well. And the question over and over and over is, do the QD mounts that are on, night vision and thermal rifle scopes, do they return to zero? Do they really work? Can I take a QD mount and can I take it off my rifle and put it back on and it return to zero? Do they work? And that's just a question, and it's a logical question. And I'm going to tell you something. 10 years ago, probably 5, but let's just go 10 years ago, I never heard of such. I mean, it was like the idea of taking a scope a zeroed scope off of a rifle, and then putting it back on and it being zeroed. That would just be insane to me. And even today, I'll admit this, no matter how well I think they work, if I was going to do this with, say, my daytime rifle scope that I'm going to go deer hunting with, and I might have the chance at killing a big buck, I would go shoot it. I mean, no matter how well, it's just because if you're a deer hunter, you may have this one chance in a lifetime, and you have to know that it's, but yeah.
It's a confidence thing. It's just like golfing and hitting a good shot and a bad shot, and that, that next shot after you hit a bad shot, you just have no confidence. And there is something weird about taking a scope off a rifle and putting back on and not having full confidence in it and being concerned about the shot, and it kind of makes you do other things. And if you think about it too long, it's going to mess up your shot. But, we're going to talk about a few right now, that we've used and stuff and our experiences with them. But I'll let you run down the different brands that they have in the different mounts they're using right now.
Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought because you said golf and you said a bad shot and then a good shot. And I was just thinking, I don't really play golf. I mean, it's just been years since I was out there, but I don't ever remember a good shot. It was just always a bad shot and a bad shot.
In golf, you have 18 holes of bad shots. In that very last shot on the 18th hole, you hit the best shot of your life, and that's what hooks you into keep playing every week. Whenever you go, every week, every 2 weeks.
That didn't happen to me. I just stay in the woods, and it's like an Easter egg hunt. I'm just looking for all the colorful balls out there in the woods under the leaves.
Yeah, you hit that one good shot, and you're like, oh man, remember 2 weeks ago or a month ago when I hit that really good shot? I think I got a hang of this. I think I know what to do. And that's it. You hit one good shot each round, and you think you're growing, but it's not the case.
I don't think that happened for me. The last time I played golf that I can think of was probably around 12 years ago. So I must not have had a very good shot. But anyway,
does not count.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about these different QD mounts. So we'll start with the FLIRs. The new FLIR Thermosight Pros have an American Defense Manufacturing quick detach mount. There is 2 QD throw levers on the mount. It's a really nice mount. Good luck with that. I don't mean good luck with that.
Yeah, I was about to say, what does that mean?
We've had good luck with that.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Wow. Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. We have had good luck with that. Inflection matters.
Yeah.
So, oh man. So now you got me tickled. The Trigicons, there's a couple options for those. LaRue has some really nice high-end mounts. Anybody knows LaRue knows what they are, high-end mounts. Zero Delta, they're another manufacturer of really quality, high-end American-made mounts. They, too, make mounts for the Trigicons. They've actually, and speaking of Zero Delta, they've got mounts for just about all of the thermals now. They've got them for the FLIRs, the Pulsars, Trigicons. So the Zero Deltas are really nice quick detach mount. They've got a pretty ingenious design on the way most of those work. Then going down to Pulsar, Pulsar has their own quick detach mount, and they also have the D-lock mount that works for it. Now, one thing I will say is that, let's talking about the Pulsar mounts real quick. Originally, when the Pulsar trails came out, and this is what you're going to see in almost all the pictures. They're the stock images. We still have them on our website. It's just what Pulsar has had since the beginning. It was about an 8.5 or 9-inch long mount, and there were two small, quick detach throw levers that basically made a 180-degree turn, and they were on, just two of them. You just flipped them and locked them down. That mount, I don't really know why it got discontinued. I don't remember when. If it was late last year, early this year, I just can't remember now. It's been so long. But it was discontinued and was replaced with an identical mount that, instead of the two QD levers, has two thumb screws. And that has been the Pulsar Apex mount for years. It's also been on some of their digital scopes. It's been just a really good mount and been around a long time. And so that is the mount that comes in the box with every Pulsar thermal. But it is not really quick detach. Again, there are 2 points that lock down with the thumb screws. And I will say this, it probably returns to zero. I know there's guys, I guess, that are using it, and I haven't really tested it. The ones that had the two little QD throw levers, I know worked. The thumb screw deal just worries me because there's so many variables there. Yeah. You can tighten that thing down more or less. Yeah. I don't know. It makes me nervous. So with that, I generally tell people I don't consider that a quick detach mount that does return to zero. It might. Well, I don't consider it as such.
You'd have to almost tighten both of those screws down exactly the same each time, because that tilt could be off just a fraction of an inch, depending on the front or back being a little bit tighter or looser than it was last time.
That's right. And so I'm not real comfortable with that. But so, the Pulsar does have their own quick detach mount as a separate accessory. They sell it for $100. If you buy a Pulsar Trail from me, I actually throw one of those in the box. So you do get a free QD mount with any Pulsar Trail purchase. But it's a nice mount. It's small. It has a single QD throw lever. Works very well. It does return to zero. I know that there's people that have seen that mount, or they hold it and they're like, I don't know of any problems with it, but it doesn't feel that hefty. It doesn't feel that great. I really want something better. And they end up going with the D-lock. The D-lock mount for those is $250. So it's a big upgrade. But a lot of guys are like, hey, if I'm spending $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 on a scope, what's another $250? And that's an option. We sell those as well. But I will say, and I mean, I know you can speak to this too, Hans. You use the Pulsar QD mount, and it just works.
Yeah, man, I tell you, because I'm always switching scopes on and off rifles, moving them around. You're sending me scopes all the time to test out. And I've always got my scope off my rifle, and I don't know how it works, but I'm telling you, it does work. And I've switched them in and out. I've tried it. I've tested it. And I've used the Pulsar QD mount, just the regular one that you can buy through Pulsar and get through you whenever when you purchase the trails. I've also used the FLIRs. I've used the D-locks. I mean, I've used just about all of them there are out there and tested them out. And the QD mounts, in my opinion, in my testing and using them, really do work. And especially I use that Pulsar QD mount. It's not, it's just got the one throw lever. It's not very big and bulky, but it does absolutely return it back as close to zero as you can probably get it. Maybe a fraction of an inch in either direction or something, but it's almost identical to where you took it off. And it absolutely, in my opinion, does work. And like I said, I do take scopes off all the time and put them back on and slap them back on. And rarely will I re-sight it in unless I'm just testing something out.
Yeah, I tell guys all the time, they'll say, does it work? And I say, I change my scopes like I change my socks and underwear, and that's, daily. So, but we always taking them off and on. I've got the D-lock on my Trail XP50, and I've got that scope zeroed for 3 rifles, which that's a common thing. A lot of the thermals now have that option. I've got that thing zeroed on 3 rifles, and ABC profile, and I can change those out, and I have tested it, and I've had zero problems with it. The other thing, we're just talking about thermal here, but just like the the Sightmark Photon, the RTs, there is a quick detach mount that we sell for that. That's a Sightmark brand, and it's just a QD, the single ring, just a QD ring, and we've sold those for years, 4 or 5 years now, long as the Photons have been around, and those things work. You just take them off, put them right back on, and you should have no issues.
There are two, and I was talking to a guy about this today, but there are really two big questions that people, when they call in and they want to talk to us or talk to me about scopes, there's three questions now. The first one is, does Jason really eat coyote? And the answer to that is yes. And now, since the wives show, they want to know if they can get a box of hog pellets. That's the second most common question. But the third one is, hey, does the QD mounts really work? And the question that I had today from a guy, because the reason why he wants to know is because he wants to use an Apex, Pulsar Apex, as a scanning unit to look through as a monocular basically and scan. He wants to slap it back on his rifle to take a shot. And my explanation to him of how it worked and my experiences with it, and absolutely, it does work, and it'll do exactly what he's wanting to do. Now, there is the question of being able to do all that at night and in the dark, and you're gonna have to practice with it a little bit and play with it, because again, it's easy to do. It's very easy to do in the daytime, but doing anything at night, as you know, makes it a little bit more difficult. So you're gonna have to practice with it a little bit, slapping that thing back on there. But as far as process, they couldn't have made it any easier, in my opinion.
You do need to get it back in that same Picatinny slot.
Yeah.
You can't go slapping that thing on there and be 4 Picatinny slots forward or backwards and expect to maintain a 0. You've got to get it back in that same one. And so some guys are like, man, how am I going to remember exactly which one? Well, my advice is to take a paint pen or fingernail polish, put a little dot of just some kind of mark there. It's not going to easily rub off. So I don't do that because I normally move mine to the back Picatinny slot, or the maybe 2 forward, so it's really easy for me to go back to. And it's normally that I'll do it that same way across all my rifles, so I'll know exactly where to put it. But that is one thing. Don't just go slap it back on there and expect it to be good.
It's got to be the same one.
Yeah. And my thing. No, go ahead, Hans.
Well, I was going to say, I put mine like you in the very last slot on the Picatinny rail. It just so I don't have to mark it. And to me, it works with the eye relief. It works great. But in the dark, even marking those rails, sometimes you can't. It's so dark you can't even see. So you almost have to like rough up part of the rail or something so you can feel with your finger where that is. Because at night, not being able to see anything, I just put it in that last slot.
Yeah, that's what I do. And the caveat at the end of this is, the answer to the question is, do they work? Short answer, yes, absolutely. They work and they return to 0. Long answer, caveat, go test it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You at the end of the day, I'm never going to tell you, oh, it's guaranteed. Don't worry about it. Just go 0 it on 3 rifles and however many, and you're good to go. No, you need to do that, but then you need to take it off, put it back on there, and then test it and shoot it. And if it doesn't work for you, and it doesn't work on any of your rifles, maybe you've got a bad mount. But if you go to one rifle and it works, the next one you don't, hey, it may just be something with the rifle, maybe something with the mount. Whatever it is what it is. But you need to test it for yourself.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you that from my experience with talking to people, the people that bought a scope and went ahead and got the mount at the same time are glad they did, and the people that bought the scope and didn't get a quick release mount are wishing that they would have had and got one.
Everybody wants one. A guy today, he bought a scope from me, and he didn't buy the quick detach mount, and he opted for a battery pack. It was an Apex. I said, hey, told him the deal that he could choose battery packs, he could choose a QD mount, any of these accessories he wanted. And he goes, man, he really wanted the battery pack. He goes, I'm not going to need that QD mount. And he called me today, and he said, he hadn't even got things zeroed yet. And he goes, I'm buying a QD mount. Should have bought it the other day. That was just stupid. I should have bought it. Ship it to me. I'm like, okay. So, one more thing I think is important to throw out. You mentioned the wives show. and you mentioned the hog pellets. And we've got a loyal listener of the show, Michael, and he called me and ordered a scope and an XQ38 trail. Michael, you know who you are, and he is hounding me that he wants to know if he's going to get a free box of hog pellets with his purchase. And I told him I just can't guarantee that. And if you have no idea what we're talking about, then you need to go back and don't just listen to it. You need to go really to YouTube and watch it and watch the Thanksgiving episode where we had our wives on here, and then you're going to learn all about hog pellets. And I'm telling you something, I'm probably going to go out and trademark that name for the line of ammo that the Late Night Vision show will be coming out with.
Everybody's asking about the hog pellets. My wife thinks that she invented something brand new, and she might beat you to the trademark first.
Oh, but no.
The hog pellets is a thing. It is a thing. It may have not been a thing before, but it's definitely a thing now. So go get your hog pellets somewhere.
That's exactly right. Well, look, so in the day, yes, QD mounts work. And they work very well, and I think that they're a super addition. And even if, and we'll end it on this, and let Hans close it up with any final words he's got. A lot of guys tell me, well, why would I want to take it off? I'm not going to use it as a scanner. I'm not, I've got plenty of other AR-15s or bolt guns that I don't need to take it off. And that's fine. If you're one of those guys, mount it, set it, forget it. But it just seems like with these thermal scopes and these digital night vision scopes, there just seems to be more opportunity and reasons to take it off than you would take off your daytime scope. And, maybe that is switching it. Maybe it's letting a buddy borrow it. Maybe it's using it as a handheld. There just seems to be more reasons than you're going to take off your daytime scope off your deer rifle. So.
Well, I would like to plug something before you end it, Jason, before you end the show. I've got a video coming out this next week. It's a full review of the Pulsar XQ50 LRF. And going to be doing a full review on that. And got some great video with it, some great ranges of hogs at several different ranges, all the way out to 300 and 400 yards. So I've got that coming out next week, so y'all go check it out on YouTube. That's HANETX.
Good. And if you're interested in the LRFs, as of right now, we've got the XQ38 LRFs in stock. We've got the XQ50s will be in stock by the time this podcast airs. They're on the way. I've got another shipment of the XP50 LRFs coming in. They are all sold. So if that's something you're interested in, then you definitely need to call and get on the list. Actually, I think with this shipment, we will probably be completely caught up. So the next one could be yours. I was talking to some more guys today about it. So if that's something you want, you better give me a call on those XP50 LRFs or any of the others. But can't wait to see that video, Hans. I'm excited about it. I know we talked about it on the show. Was that last week?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, last week. Yeah. And there's a lot of interest in these LRFs. And I'm just going to go on the record and I'm going to say that I really think this is something that I may be wrong, but I think we're going to see these in the future more and more and more on these night vision and thermal scopes because I think it's greatly needed. So anyway, I'm excited about what the future holds on that. All right, folks, episode 32 is in the can. We hope it's not the trash can. We appreciate y'all's continued support and appreciate y'all listening and tuning in every week. If it's the first time that you listen to us, thank you as well. Please subscribe, like, share, tell your friends, your family. Let everybody know about it. And I just want to say thank you to Hans every week for coming on here and sharing all his expertise from his time in the field. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, folks, there's nobody that's doing any more hunting on a regular basis than Hans. And he is out there in the fields, and so his experience is firsthand knowledge, and I appreciate that. We don't have to have somebody who, has used one or two scopes and hunts every 2 or 3 months. This guy's out there all the time, killing as many hogs as anybody I know, and coyotes don't get a free pass when they run by either. So anyway.
I'm out there freezing my butt off right now, but I'm out there just about every night.
Yeah, that's right. So, hey, thank y'all for listening. We look forward to seeing y'all again next week. So tune in, and we will see y'all then. Until then, stay safe in the fields.